Hello guys, from the Lavender's house here. So today I'm gonna answer one of most asked question that we got on our lavender farm. What type of soil do we use for our lavender? But you have to keep in mind we are talking about plants that live in pots. So the answer is different than what soil do you need for your lavender. Okay, so I have two types of soil that I use. So the one for the lavender is a secret. No, it's not a secret. It's the same type of soil that we use for all the flowers. From this peace lily to this date palm, it's the same. But I have another mix, and that's for vegetable. But we are going to talk about this later. And the soil that you need for the lavender that you are going to put in the ground is different than this. And I'm going to explain this in another clip when we are going to post this probably in spring. But now I'm going to talk about just a little bit of the soil that we use for our plants that we grow indoors and even in the lavenders. I told you we use the same one. So I have here three things. So this is compost, this is peat moss, and this is perlite. So we use all of them in different mixes. When I use it for vegetables, I use more compost than peat moss. But first of all, let me tell you a little bit about each and every single one. So this is compost. Everybody knows what's compost, okay? Probably it's everything from grass clippings to anything that is biodegradable, and you are putting it in your compost pile, and then after 6 months you'll have a rich compost or a rich dark material that you can use for growing flowers and plants and vegetables in the garden. Okay, so this is nutrition. This here is food for the plants. Okay. Okay, so this is peat moss. This is just like a sponge. This has nothing nutritious in here, but its main property of this peat moss is to retain water. Of course, when you buy this in a bag, probably they will add some fertilizer, chemical fertilizer in it. But at the main base, this is used just for retaining water. Okay, we'll talk about this later. I'm going to tell you how to use them. And this is perlite. Now perlite, probably a lot of people don't use perlite, but I'm going to tell you why you should use perlite. So perlite is a volcanic rock, has no nutritious property whatsoever, but its main function is to aerate the soil. So this is very important because what I use in lavender, I told you that I use in every plant, and it's very important because the roots of the plant will help. If the soil is loose, the roots will get established very quickly and the plant will go very vigorous and it's going to be very healthy. I don't think I know a plant that can live in water. Well, only aquatic plants, but most of the plants will die because overwatering, not because of lack of watering. So when you buy, I'm going to tell you like this is even important. So this is compost. If you buy compost, buy it, well, actually all of them, if you find a way to buy them in big bags because they are cheaper. So peat moss, if you're gonna go in every local store and buy peat moss, this is going to be expensive when it's on a small bag. But if you buy it in bulk, it's going to be cheaper. So I buy peat moss and perlite in bulk. So even if you have some plants and you love plants, I know you are going to buy lots of soil. So it's just a matter of time. So just buy it in bulk and use them because you will see at the end it's going to be cheaper. So now I'm going to tell you about the ratio that I use for all the plants except vegetables. So for all the plants I use 2 parts. Well, let's do it like this. I'm going to use 3 parts of peat moss, 2 parts of compost and 1 part perlite. And in this way, I'm going to have water retention, that the plants needs water, and nutrition and aeration. So these 3 are very important. So it's like this: 3 peat moss, 2 compost, 1 perlite. I'm going to mix them very well, and then this mix I'm going to use on all of them. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you'll see when you go and you buy a bag of soil from your local shop for plants, you will see there is almost no peat moss in them. And the problem with this is that you do know, if you grow plants, you do know that sometimes after I know 6 months, 1 year, the soil inside that pot is going to just be closer to the plant and is going to suffocate the roots of the plant. And every time you are going to try to water it, all the water will just go away beside the pot and not going to stay in the pot, and your plant will have water only here and here. So in the middle, all the roots will die, and eventually your plant will die. Well, it won't die, but it won't be very happy. So after I mix these 3, look, I have here already mixed up. So this is how it should look, the compost, and this should be very fluffy and aerated, and this is very nutrition for the plants. So here I think I have soil for any other plant, like at least 1 year. When you go to your local area and you buy plants, you will see they will never use compost in the pots. They will use only peat moss and chemicals that are used for plants to grow. And I have here something like this. I don't use chemicals fertilizer for my plants, because in time the plant, the soil will gather salts, they will gather all kinds of substances in the soil, and like 1 or 2 years the plant will die. And these are 6 months. I use these sometimes, but only if I use compost, or I will never use them only if I use peat moss, because if I sell a plant to somebody with only peat moss and this, after 6 months the plant will die, because it will have no nutrition inside the pot. So the soil is going to be lifeless. So with this mix, I am trying to make a living organism. The soil is a living organism. So we have to understand that, and we have to appreciate that. Look at these dates. So these are like 10 years now. Well, they have been chewed once by Daisy, and now they are recuperating. But here I use so little of this. Most of it I use compost, and one more thing that I use is this. So this is, because I wanted to show you, this is a liquid fertilizer, but it is an organic one. It's you know, that one that smells like rotten fish, and I use almost every time I water the plants. I put 1 cup of this in 10 liter and water them. So this will add a little bit of nutrition to my soil, and I'm going to promise you the plants will be very healthy and very good looking. So if you have to remember that if you use only chemicals fertilizer, the plant is going to be good 1 or 2 years. After that, they won't be so good. You will have to change the soil, the top and from the root, because the chemicals inside the fertilizer are will gather salts and other substances. So this is my mix. This is what we use for lavenders and for rosemary and for all of our herbs, and even for the plants inside the house. So what I use for vegetables, well, of course my vegetables are going to be in the ground, of course, but until they grow we are keeping them inside. Some of them, like peppers, like tomatoes, I'm going to grow them inside next to a window. And I'm going to use not a different mix, but instead of 3, 2, 1, I'm going to use 3, 3, and 1. It's not very complicated. I'm just adding a little bit of compost in it. And now I don't want to forget this, and I just want to remind you, after you do the mix, please try to sterilize the mix. I don't care if this comes in a bag or this the same, and they are composted and they are sterilized. They will not. I had so many problems so many times with this, having inside eggs or any other creatures that live inside the soil. Outside is no problem, but if you grow them inside, you will have a problem. So after I mix this, I'm going to take probably 2 liters of boiled water. I'm going to just mix it very well and leave it there like half a day or something like that. And then after that, I will use that potting mix. So yes, thank you for watching. This is our mix for everything. If you like our video, if you find that this was helpful for you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to do more clips. So this was just the beginning, because I cannot start a gardening channel without telling the people what kind of a soil do we use. So thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day. See you to the next clip. Bye.